So be it, Jedi.
What's going on, guys? Back with another video. FOMO. You've heard it before. The fear of missing out. When it comes to collecting, it's associated with buying something you normally wouldn't buy because you bought into the hype, the excitement, and you didn't want to miss on the opportunity. So in this video, I'm going to break down 10 figures that I think at least one of them is going to hit you with FOMO. Starting off at number 10, we have the Big Chap from Alien. Now, I believe even if your team Scorched Xenomorph, when this comes out, it's going to be hard to pass up on. Now, I'm in that boat as well. Alien is one of my favorite films, especially the first one. I think this is going to be a great figure for those that really want to stick to the OG source material. But as I said in my other video, I think the Scorched Xenomorph is going to be objectively a better figure. I think when this comes out, people that are riding the fence are going to pick this up just because it is, like I said, the OG, the original Xenomorph. Moving on to number 9, we have Wolverine from Deadpool Wolverine, specifically the deluxe version. I think the only one worth buying. Deadpool Wolverine is the most profitable R-rated movie ever made, a movie that I personally really enjoyed, a movie that I wouldn't have gone and seen without Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, and I think a lot of people can say the same thing. I love the movie. It wasn't perfect, but it was really good, right? Being as the current state of the MCU is what it is. But speaking on the figure, I think the figure looks great based on the prototype. I think the Hugh Jackman likeness is the best we've ever gotten. And as long as the figure comes out looking, 85, 90% of what the prototype is, I think this is going to be a remarkable figure, potentially a figure of the year. Number 8, we have Savage Opress, a figure that I think this is going to be it. I don't think there's going to be another Savage Opress made by Hot Toys in a long time, right? A figure we never thought would be made to begin with, and one that looks awesome. I mean, the presence this figure has, the body they used, the scale of it. I mean, there's really nothing negative to say about this figure, except for the fact that the Clone Wars Darth Maul that would go with it looks like a piece of shit. This figure looks great. One that I think any collector of Star Wars, the Clone Wars, anybody that collects dark side characters is going to be wanting to get. One that I think that if you don't already have in the bag, once it releases, you'll be running and getting it. Number 7, we have the T-800, specifically the battle damage version. And the reason I chose the battle damage version is I believe that if there's going to be anybody that can only get one T-800, they're probably going to swing towards this one. And the reason is I just think it's a better figure. I think it has more shelf presence. I think the paint applications on the battle damage just show Hot Toys' skill as, a lifelike figure creating company. And I think the likeness looks better. Now, this really isn't very different than the DX13 from what I've seen. And for those that have the DX13, they may hold on to it and they may go and get the clean version. So it's really hard to say. I just had to choose one for this list. And I know that I bounced around the idea of which one I would get if I were to get just one Terminator. And while I do love the clean look, specifically of that scene where he's walking down the hallway in the mall, we all know it. While I do love that, I think I would be missing out on the battle damage version. That's why it's on this list. Number 6, we have Revenge of the Sith, Darth Cidius, specifically the one that's currently on pre-order where he has the clean sculpt and the disfigured sculpt. I think as it stands, this is probably the definitive Cidius to have just because you have those two swap out options. It's not my definitive Cidius, but I can see why a lot of people, probably sold their Clone Wars Cidius or canceled their pre-order with the, ghoulish smiling sculpt that just came out. I do love the red robes. I love the scene specificity, but I don't love the fact that the black robes he puts on over those red robes is literally specific to like one scene. The only Darth Sidious I would get rid of the one I have for would be disfigured or clean Darth Sidious in his normal black, robes we see him in Return of the Jedi, the prequels, this the black simple robes. Now this black robe he's wearing in this photo is not the same one. So don't think that you could make it work. I'm being anal here, but in regards to source material and accuracy, it's really only specific to, Probably the coolest scene, Revenge of the Sith, one of them, and then the scene thereafter where he gives Anakin the title Darth Vader, tells him to go to the Jedi Temple, and that's it. He doesn't even tell Commander Cody to execute Order 66 in this outfit. Number 5, we're sticking with Star Wars. We're going with Darth Malgus. Another one that I think a lot of people are sleeping on, and I think it's going to hit people that aren't even fans of the Old Republic. It's just going to be a phenomenal figure. It's going to have an insane shelf presence. This thing is like taller than Darth Vader. I think this is going to be one that people see released and they go and pull the trigger on because it's just going to look awesome. Out of all the Legends Sith that we've seen so far, this is the one I'm most tempted to get. But for me, it's sort of an all or nothing. I can't really get this and justify passing on the others, so I'm safe for now. Moving on, number 4, we have the Predator 2.0. Now, there's a lot of controversy around this figure. It's just the classic Predator body. It's not very accurate. Will Hot Toys update the body? I don't know, but I know for a fact if they do, it's going to drive up the FOMO. I have this on pre-order. I hope they update it. If they don't, I don't know how I feel. I owned the classic Predator for like a week. It was awesome, but I know that I would be much happier with a newer, more up-to-date figure. Moving on to number 3, we have classic comic Venom. Now we've seen several symbiote Marvel figures, specifically like 2 or 3 Tom Hardy Venoms, but I think this is the one that people are going to want because it is most derivative of comic origins. Now, I'm not the super crazy Spider-Man Marvel fan, but I know that if I were to pick up a Venom, this is the one I would get, and I think a lot of people are going to be thinking the same thing when this is released. Moving on to number 2, I'm going to hit you with some rage bait, some satire here. We have Jar Jar Binks. Jar Jar, for me, was iconic, part of my childhood. I was born in 96, so as I was a young child, I grew up watching the prequels, and I did not hate Jar Jar, to be honest with you. Now, as an adult, I watch the movies and I think, what the hell was George Lucas thinking? But undeniably, Jar Jar is a meme, but he's also an icon. And I think the figure looks great. It's not one that I would personally ever spend $300+ on. I don't like Jar Jar that much. But I think a lot of people that are in the boat is saying, oh, I hate this, blah, 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 blah. They're going to be changing their mind because I think this is probably the only Jar Jar you'll ever get unless they do some crazy stuff and give us like a Darth Jar Jar or something. And moving on to what I believe is the figure that's going to be responsible for hitting people with the most FOMO out of everything on this list. And that's going to be Darth Vader from Revenge of the Sith, specifically the deluxe with the operating table. A figure that no one could have seen coming, right? We could all wish and, it was a pipe dream that they would do this. I didn't think they would do this. I thought it'd be cool, but hell, they went all out for this figure and it's awesome. I mean, I wish I could justify buying this, but I, of course, have my custom Darth Vader that I invested a lot into. And personally, as much as it may sound like heresy, I do not like the way Darth Vader's suit really looks in Revenge of the Sith. I prefer my Vader to be more of a catch-all Vader. I don't like the proportions or specifically the body they used. I know it's supposed to be Hayden in the suit, and you think I would love it, but maybe that's just copium. Maybe that's just me trying to talk myself out of wanting it. But I do believe that this is going to be something people regret not buying if they decide not to. I think it's going to be maybe not the definitive Darth Vader because I don't think that's the case. But I do think it's going to be the most unique Darth Vader. And that's even going against the battle damage Darth Vader. All right, guys, that wraps up this list. Let me know if any of these figures are currently on pre-order for you. I have a couple, and I'm probably going to get hit with 1 or 2 more when it comes to time of release. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, see you on the next one.
I'm sorry, sir. It's time for you to leave.